Is Omicron the last variant? Almost certainly not. Viruses evolve, that's just kind of what they do. And Omicron almost certainly won't be the last major variant of SARS-CoV-2. Omicron is different from the original COVID in a lot of ways. If you look at the progression of different variants that we've had since the original coronavirus, you have Alpha and Delta and sort of the variants in between. They have been kind of popping up all over the place, and each has about 25 distinct mutations from the original coronavirus. Omicron had about double that, and that made it a lot more transmissible and a lot more able to evade our immune responses in a way to make a lot of people infected and sick. It's hard to predict what a new variant will look like. For a virus like influenza, each year scientists try to predict what the dominant circulating strain will look like based on last year's strain. And it's usually pretty easy because next year's strain looks a lot like the previous year's strain. And so if you kind of zoom out and look at the evolution of the flu virus from year to year, it kind of evolves in sort of a stepwise fashion. That hasn't been the case with SARS-CoV-2. Each new variant has looked a lot different from the previous variant. Omicron especially looked quite a bit different. Now, since Omicron came on the scene last year, all the subsequent new major variants have been sort of offshoots of that lineage. So there's a fairly good chance that if there's another major variant to drive a wave, it will be kind of related to Omicron, but that isn't necessarily the case, and the coronavirus might throw us another curveball. Are we prepared for the next variant? In some ways, we are, and in some ways we aren't. We're prepared in that we now have a vaccine that has been updated to match the Omicron variant. Previously, the vaccine had been sort of formulated to match the original coronavirus, and by updating the vaccine, we're sort of dealing with the virus that we have, not the virus that we had 2 years ago. But we're also dismantling a lot of the systems that we've built up over the past couple of years to deal with a new variant. A lot of testing sites are closing. A lot of the programs that the government has provided a lot of funding for to help deal with surges, like free vaccination sites, free tests, things like that, those are running out of money, and there's not a lot of indication that Congress will be giving more funding anytime soon. Hospital systems are also kind of worn out from dealing with surge after surge over these past 2 years. That all, in some ways, makes us not super well prepared to deal with another variant. And a lot of people just are kind of not in a position where they are going to put on their mask again to deal with a surge if it comes. And those kinds of basic public health measures can help tamp down a surge, but if people aren't willing to do them, then there's not much more that can be done.